3, 2, 1. Greetings, foolish mortal. 'Tis I, Viktorya Roze Tassi. And for this video, I have 2 or 3 separate stories which I'm going to be telling you because they're all pretty short. First one, am I the a-hole for mocking my cousin's bald patches in front of his new girlfriend and causing her to dump him? By the way, I haven't read these stories in like 2 or 3 weeks, so yeah. So OP then goes on to say, I'm 17 female. My parents and I went to a dinner at my aunt's house. I didn't want to go because my 35-year-old cousin likes to make fun of my appearances. I'm tall and skinny, but Dad convinced me to go. Jared was already at the dinner table and introducing his girlfriend Melody to everyone. He surprisingly didn't make fun of me like he usually does when we first see each other. Now, I was told by Jared's sister that Jared shaved all his hair off 2 years ago because he was getting bald patches and was embarrassed about them. So anyway, during dinner, Jared finally turns his attention to me. At the time, everyone was quiet and then asked me loudly, Hey OP, do you think you'll ever put on some weight? You're starting to look anorexic. May I remind you that OP is 17 years old, a 17-year-old female, and Jared is a 35-year-old male? Jesus Christ. And basically the way how OP puts it is that Jared had been harassing her for years about her weight. Just, I swear, I have no idea what the heck Jared has against her. I just snapped and said, I don't know, do you think you'll ever grow hair where your bald patch spots are? Oh my goodness, OP, what a way to clap back. He got angry and started cussing at me, Monsieur. And I asked him if he had a spare brush for me so I could brush my hair. That may be taking this step too far, OP, but he was told to leave, so him and Melody left, so Melody and him left. Melody apparently broke up with him that night. Now I'm getting the blame. Am I the a-hole? Long story short, no, OP, you are not in fact the a-hole. Just anyway, that's how I determine it. Next up, we have, am I the a-hole for sending my brother violent misogynis, I believe is how it's pronounced, misogynist, points to his employer? Okay, commencing. I am a 24-year-old woman facing a moral and family crisis. My brother, Jake, who's 29, works for a well-known tech company. We're not super close, but we connect over gaming. That's how I know his unique gamer tag, which is important here. Okay. Recently, a friend who also games with us alerted me that Jake may be involved in some nasty online behavior. He said he posts prolifically on an incel format under his gaming tag. I did some digging and found the user in question. The posts were disturbing. The user, undoubtedly Jake, just from various identified details he shared aggressive, misogynic posts about women. What really horrified me was a rant about his sister, clearly referring to me, using terms like toilet boy and expressing violent, abusive thoughts. He literally said he wanted to R-word me, Jesus Christ, and force me to do sexual things to him. Already, OP, I can see that you are not in fact the a-hole. But it gets worse. Jake had posted creep shots of his female colleagues, calling them degrading names and ranting about them. No, OP, you are not in fact the a-hole, however, I will continue reading on. It wasn't just hate speech, it felt dangerous. Some of the photos looked like they were taken in a public restroom, and the other users ranted about R-wording them. Struggling with what to do, I ultimately decided to send everything to his employer. It felt like a threat to the safety of the woman he worked with, and I was worried about what he might do. Jake's been suspended pending an HR investigation. Good. When he figured out it was me, he exploded, accusing me of ruining his life and career. Our parents are conflicted. Mom is appalled by Jake's behavior, but saying, I should have confronted him for, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Basically, what OP is saying is that she was terrified of Jake because he said that he would R-word her on the forum. Alright, now let's see what Dad says. Dad is upset, believing I jeopardized Jake's future over online nonsense. No, OP didn't jeopardize Jake's future. Jake did it his own damn self. I'm torn. Did I do the right thing by reporting him? Yes, OP, you did. Or have I just worsened the situation, possibly pushing him further into these toxic beliefs? So, am I the a-hole for reporting my brother's online behavior to his employer, leading to his suspension? No, OP, you are not, in fact, the a-hole, but let's see what people have to say. Guy was thinking that he was in a safe space to vent out his crazy Mr. Lomic impulses, and you shoot to go full nuclear. Drag him into the sun by alerting his workplace, not set up an intervention or anything like that, because you don't want him to get help. You want to destroy his life over online rant. I would be scared shitless if I were you. You're the a-hole if not oblivious enough. Someone else said, if it was just stuff about you, there might have been an argument for handling him between you and your family, even if that ultimately meant you with no contact or got the police involved. But he was taking pictures of co-workers, that's capitalized. There's not That's not just disturbing, that's basically a threat to people he has access to every day on the job. The company just didn't have to think of the safety of their employer, but also their liability if he went from illegal photo taken in their facility and threatening comment to acting on it. You lightly warned them about threats done to the worker, and the fact that he's your brother is irrelevant. Clearly, his worker doesn't think it's an overreaction on their part since they SP'd him. Sorry, SPID him. You did his employer and his coworkers a massive favor. It might have saved him from something much, much worse. He sits and should be in a padded room. Agree completely with you. And your parents' attitude suggests where he got the idea he could get away with this from. Not the a-hole, absolutely 100% not the a-hole. If he terminated, it would be because he's a psycho creep, not because of anything you did. Well, someone else said, definitely not the a-hole. OP, I'm wondering how middle America are your parents. They must be boomers, because I'm absolutely confused over your mother not really taking any direct action, and your father seems to be too old to give a shit. It does suck on you that he had to ruin his career, but for a 29-year-old man to act post about these things online, it's just insane to me, a guy who is 31 now, and never expressed anything remotely to what your brother has knocking about in his head. Okay? Jesus, I swear. What the heck is going on with people these days? This last one is something from the parenting subreddit. I'm sorry, however, I have 3 other posts I'm gonna make. That's not the last one. This next one is from Traumatized and Back subreddit. And it reads, I believe it's a comment. When my dad died, their bank just wouldn't accept the fact that my mom was now the sole owner of their joint bank account, despite receiving notifications and a copy of his death certificate, and their finalized probate doc naming my mom as sole beneficiary. She also had right of survivorship, so the whole thing was just obnoxious. They demanded to speak with him whenever she tried to do anything that had formally required two signatures. Finally, she got fed up and made an appointment for both of them to meet with the branch manager and showed up with the box of his cremains. That's epic. Got the same BS and she slammed the box on the counter. Here, ask him himself. Then she quoted the bank and changed. That's awesome, Mom. Oddly enough, I can picture my mom doing that. This next one is from the parenting subreddit. And someone said, I'm going to be a dad for the first time and I have no idea what I'm doing. Any advice? And I comment on it. I say, everyone here is leaving comments about being a dad. Congratulations. But no one's offered advice for what to do post birth. Giving birth is traumatic, and your significant other will be hormonal and emotional. If she wants you in the room while she's giving birth, be her biggest cheerleader. Tell her that she's doing so good and that you're proud of her. Whether she be giving birth the natural way or by C-section, she will hurt at the end of it all. Offer to rub her back, help her to the bathroom, get her food, that kind of stuff. When you get home, offer to help her take a shower, cook dinner, take care of the house. Trust me, she will love you even more for it. Yeah. Anyway, I can't have kids. I'm medically sterile. However, if I was pregnant and if the baby daddy was in my life like that, I would love him all the more if he did that stuff for me. And this last one is from, I don't know which subreddit, however, pretty funny. OP said, I had knee surgery as a teenager. Same here, however, I wasn't a teenager. The doctor bought me a Sharpie and told me to circle the correct knee and put an X on the other. Then he left the room. I did exactly as instructed. Then I drew arrow to the circle and write, operate here, and wrote more X's on the other leg and wrote, do not touch. I sat there bored for another 30 minutes writing random stuff all over my body like, you can't have my appendix. And why are you looking up here? Focus on the knee. Oh my goodness. I even had my mom write on my back something like, if you can read this wrong side, flip me over. Oh my goodness, that's just hysterical. Then I covered up with the sheet and the anesthesiologist showed up. I was told that I said some weird stuff while I was going under, but that is a different story. The surgery went fine. I had to stay in the hospital overnight. When the doctor came into my room to check up on me, he said that I'd thrown off their schedule because when they uncovered me and saw all the notes, that they started laughing for 10 minutes. That's awesome, OP. I really wish I would have done that when I had my knee surgery back in 2017. When they finally got their composure, they rolled me up onto my side to get me onto the operating table and saw the note on my back and locked it again. He said that the surgery started about 30 minutes later than it was supposed to, thanks to my drawings and notes. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Just OP, I absolutely love you. That's epic. Just, oh my goodness. So, anyway, that's everything for right now. Also, I do not know how to end videos.